In trailer music or in cinematic music, you may have come across a sound like this, or like this. These are downers, and we're going to try to make a unique downer. So here's what we made. So let's see how we made that. Let's change oscillator 1 to a sine wave, and then turn on oscillator 2, changing that to a different wavetable. And now let's take the level down of oscillator 2 and now assign frequency modulation from oscillator 2 here. And let's start using envelope 2 to make this downer shape by taking the sustain all the way down and adding a lot of decay that we can tweak. And so let's assign envelope 2 to the pitch of oscillator 2, changing the value to something like 36. And then let's also assign it to the frequency modulation here. And this is what we have so far. So now let's add filter 1 and let's add LFO 1 to the filter. And now what we'll do is we'll change the tempo to seconds and drag it all the way down to 128. And now we're going to make use of macro 1, assigning it to the seconds here. And now when we change this macro knob, you'll hear this automation effect. So right from the start, let's automate that macro the way that we want it. So let's hit configure and hit it on macro 1. And now inside of Ableton, we can modulate it the way we want it. So let's go from like somewhere in the 60 to somewhere in the 30s. Maybe a bit more in the start. Okay, cool. I like it there from like 85 to 33. And now let's head over to the effects section and start using envelope 2 and LFO 1 on these effects. So let's assign LFO 1 to the mix just a little bit, and envelope 2 to the feedback. Let's add distortion and assign LFO 1 to the mix and envelope 2 to the drive. Let's add a little bit of compression, taking the mix down and assigning LFO 1 to the mix. We can increase the attack and the release a bit. Let's add some reverb, increasing the time and using LFO 1 to modulate the mix. Cool. And now what we can do is we can add another filter here, set it to maybe the phaser. I use this a lot, you'll notice. I just think it sounds the best. So let's set it to the semitones here. Yeah, I like that. Let's make it a little less present though. And then use envelope 2 to modulate it as well. Yeah, I like it like that. And then let's use envelope 2 to modulate the resonance as well. Cool, so now let's head over to do some post-processing. And let's add a limiter, as it might get a bit loud. So now let's add some glue compression with the attack up, release down, threshold down a bit, add some makeup. I think what we can do is add an EQ and then modulate a peak doing this from top to the bottom. So let's turn it to about here and then automate this peak down. And let's take the gain down a bit. And now let's mimic that same effect with an overdrive. And let's bring this down, bring the drive down, bring the tone up, dynamics down, dry wet down a bit to like 39. And then let's automate the frequency. Somewhere there works for me. And now let's add a phaser flanger. Let's add it here. That's what I was doing. I was playing it from the middle. I was confused why it sounded different. And here we go. I think we can add maybe one more effect. Let's add some chorus. And let's resample that, and we have a sort of stuttering downer effect. All right, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I am just gonna let everybody know, like I did in the other video, that I have just started a Discord channel. And so if you'd like to download some of the sounds that you hear in these tutorials, they'll be for free over there. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching and have a great remainder of your day. Bye-bye.